Ladies and gentlemen, churches are losing attendance by the millions. They said it is so bad in the country. The decline is continuing on. Churches not bouncing back at all. Personally, I think when the lockdown happened, it shifted whatever spirituality that America thought she had. It made a complete shift. And if you remember, you heard the pastors say things like, when they went to online church in the beginning, like the first few weeks, people were signing in and listening to the sermons and giving money, and all that. And as the weeks rolled by, the attendance started dropping off in a big way. And if you remember, many of these pastors were going online trying to get their congregation back. They were trying to contact them and talk to them and everything. And I think it was all in vain, being that it was such a spiritual shift. People just was not anymore. And when they went online, online church just does not have that same feel that it does when you are in person, and you are no longer connecting with other people in the church. So it changes the whole dynamics of church altogether. So once it started dropping off in a big way, now it was already in decline prior to the pandemic, but the pandemic just seemed to accelerate things much faster. Okay. So, some people are blaming, people are going in more of a liberal direction. Some people are blaming politics. And some people just don't feel fulfilled by church. They just feel like they're not getting anything out of it. So the churches are now trying to figure out a way to get the people back. And ladies and gentlemen, I really truly believe we are in the times where the church is just not going to make a comeback. It is not. We are in those times where you can feel that everything has changed. You know, in the 50s, I remember reading about how people were flooding in the churches back then. And I remember even when I was going to church, I was not born in the 50s, so I was not even around. But when we would go to church, there were Sundays where it would be a packed house. You would hardly be able to go in there and find a seat. That's how many people were in the church. The last time I was going to church was with my mother when she was still living. And I rarely remember a packed house on any given Sunday. I'm not talking about the holiday time. Yeah, people tend to come, the ones that usually are not coming on a weekly basis, but they'll show up around holiday time. Yeah, it would get a little packed about them, but any given Sunday, it was plenty of seats in that church. Plenty, you know? And I remember even when I was young, it was not like that. There were a lot of people going to church. In fact, I remember getting up and leaving Sunday, and you would see several families up and down the street getting in cars and leaving. You don't see that now. I don't even see that on a Sunday. There are a few people that you see going to church, but it is nothing like it was years ago. So, yes, things have changed. And I think people are not finding their answers in the church. That's why they're not having any problem leaving the church. Your church has virtually just made some of the pastors rich. It did. And other pastors, they're really falling off fast. You know, And it's really bad if you are in a rural area where where you probably didn't even have a big congregation to begin with. Well, those churches are really doing bad. And it's not unusual now for you to even find stories out here where churches are just closing altogether because they don't have the membership to even support the church, or the church staff and the pastor is just not there. And I just found this article interesting because it said something is wrong with church. Yes, something is definitely wrong with church. And I think we are in the times where people know this. I think a lot of people, even that were dedicated to going to church every Sunday, even they can't deny that they're not getting any fulfillment from going to church every Sunday. But y'all, you got to tell me what you think. I know my cousin, I was talking to him a few weeks ago. He's down there in Georgia, and he was telling me how his church never came back from being locked down. The congregation never came back. And, he still attends, but he sees how empty it is now. It is nothing like it used to be. Y'all, please tell me what you think about this video. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.